Millions of people are expected to get out and vote in today's midterm election.
Yeah, but how are the political parties feeling as votes are cast around the country? Are they confident they'll come out on top tonight? Let's bring in NBC's senior Washington correspondent and News Now anchor Hallie Jackson. She's here in New York on set with us.
Hello.
Long night ahead for you. Thanks for being up early.
Big morning ahead tomorrow for you, which may still be election morning 24 hours.
Yeah, pretty sure it will be. Yeah, it might be election week. All right, Hallie, so, we've seen this surge in Democratic enthusiasm. It seemed like Republicans were in the lead on that. Now we've seen that spike. And then yesterday we have this tease of an announcement next Tuesday from former President Trump. How's that playing in here? I know you've been talking to insiders about what that's doing to enthusiasm, what that means for both parties, kind of having that little news here.
Yeah. I was on the phone late last night with somebody who was close to the former president who was with him very, very recently. And I was like, what is up, right? Like, what's going on with this? What's the timing here? Because, yes, there had been some discussion about, wouldn't it be better, the thinking went, if the former president made a decision about running for 2024 after the midterms, right? So that it wasn't the shadow, the specter of it hanging over, maybe mobilizing Democrats to turn out, et cetera. So technically, he is announcing after the midterms, right? But this announcement of an announcement the night before the midterms is certainly interesting. Here's the thing, though. Like, it's fairly baked in. He's been hinting heavily handed, right, for months now that he is likely going to run in 2024. We've seen him step up to the line again and again. So, to some degree, some of it is baked in. I will say this source close to the former president says I said, tell me about the mood, right? Angry was the word that came up, meaning like aggrieved, still aggrieved at the way he was treated for the 4 years that he was in the White House. He feels the words deep state came up, the words, the sort of media issues came up that the former president feels he had. I would also say there is, I think, a sense that maybe he will box out some in the Republican field, other candidates who may think about running, who are maybe on the bubble. I don't know that a decision, I got to tell you, like, I don't have this from people that are saying this, but just my sense of it is, I think Ron DeSantis, Governor DeSantis of Florida, if he wins, tonight, I think he's probably going to run. I think Mike Pence, pretty baked in that he's going to run. Do you know what also happens on November 15th, by the way? Former Vice President Mike Pence's book comes out. Yeah. That's his book drop date, right? Which has been a lot of the discussion in Pence world about big media blitz, et cetera, et cetera. So just some interesting timing.
Well, and also a big issue could be Ron DeSantis could very well win big in Florida.
Yeah. That's the thing, right? And then,
So let's talk about what both parties, how they're feeling heading into this. Starting with the GOP. Clearly, they have the momentum. They're the party that's not in power. That's an advantage.
History's on their side.
Exactly. So what are GOP leaders saying right now as they head into
Talk to some Republicans. The mood is just good. I mean, it's just they're in a good mood. I don't think anybody is counting chickens at this point. But I did hear a couple of times just talking with people who know the party well, who are in the party, managing expectations, which when you're on the momentum side, meaning somebody used the analogy, if you score 15 touchdowns and win, but everyone thought you were going to score 30 touchdowns and win. Does it mean like maybe your win wasn't as good? It's still a win, right? So, but the fact that that's where the conversation even is on the Republican side, I think is pretty telling. Obviously, there are some very close races, and then it could go better for Democrats. There are questions, of course, about polling, et cetera. What does it really show? How much stake can you put in that? But I think generally, at least when it comes to the House, Republicans are feeling good. The House of Representatives, obviously, where they only need a net flip of 5 to win.
Yeah, and let's talk about the other side. I mentioned we've seen this spike in enthusiasm, at least in our last NBC News poll. There are some issues on the ballot, like abortion, that we think sort of hyper surged this sort of electorate. What do you think about how Democrats are feeling?
One person said to me, uncertain, and I think that's a generous, probably, categorization. I would say fairly grim as it relates to some of the prospects. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to be wiped out across the board. I certainly don't think. Who knows, right? But that seems kind of unlikely at this point. However, yes, abortion access has been mobilizing, but so has crime. That came up in a couple conversations just as I was doing calls yesterday to kind of check in with folks. Crime being an issue. The Democrats feel like they've really been on defense on. And then, as you said, Joe, the fundamentals here, the environment, history, the economy, those numbers are not in Democrats' favor. I talked to one Democratic member of Congress overnight who said, yeah, they're preparing for a House Speaker, Kevin McCarthy.
Wow. All right, that says a lot. Hallie, thank you so much. Great to see you.
Good to see you, Hallie.
Lots of
and we'll see you a lot today and tonight.
Thank you.
Tomorrow morning.
Yes, hopefully.
All right.
Oh, my God.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.